Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Alan's under the weather. My wife is under the weather. So hopefully this is going to be a quick one because both of those guys are feeling miserable.
You better take care of Lisa there.
I know, right? And I don't want to. I don't know if I don't want to sound sexist, but like Lisa, probably like most wives, are kind of the ones that control the house and have everything under control, know what's going on, has dinner, has a plan. And it's hard for me to kind of match. I can't even match that, to tell you the truth. I basically just try to do my best, get the kids fed, and then get in bed ready for the next day. So like I said, hopefully this is going to be a short one so I can kind of play mom, so to speak. um I I speaking of kids, I want to show you guys something because I'm super proud of this. Because I think it's awesome. So that's my youngest daughter. She is 11. Um, this almost looks like a professional picture, like one you would see in like like a brochure or something like that. So I'm thrilled with the way these pictures turned out. Like I said, I'm super proud. For those of you guys that are not friends of mine on Facebook, um, get to see my youngest daughter in her basketball thing. Um, I ran across this, and you know what? I'll get to this next because this is kind of scary. Um, this was my screen today, um, and I flipped between Tesla and XOM. Those were the two that I traded. Um, I'm bummed that I missed this run here, but I got a little bit of a run here to be green. Um, I thought I was swift when I got into Tesla short on this candle, and it did play down a little bit, but then we kind of rallied back to the 5-minute low, and I kind of chickened out and didn't hold it. It was funny because I played Tesla on both sides, both short and long. And today was just a whipsaw kind of day. Let me see. If we look at Tesla, we down, up, and we kind of see that with the market as well. We were down in a range for a while until this is Fed Powell. And yeah, everything was going great until he mentioned the interest rate words. And the only thing I can think of in my mind is I'm a super huge fan of the movie Beetlejuice. I don't know why, it's a dumb movie. But Michael Keaton plays an awesome Beetlejuice guy, and there's a point in the movie where he said, don't say the B word. So I think Powell mentioning, he said, we're doing good. Inflation's coming down slowly. And then I think right about here is where he said, if we see signs, we're not opposed to raising rates again. I actually put, and I normally don't look at the futures. This is the S&P mini futures. I normally don't watch those, but today, I think it's Thunderbird Charles mentioned them, so I started following them. I'm gonna try something on Thursday evening with him. I've never done a Facebook Live event, but I think that I can create one, invite him, and then hopefully you guys will all be able to watch, and hopefully it'll record it to save it for later. Hopefully I'll be able to share my screen and we can talk about what he uses for charts, how he trades, what signals.
Is that set up for Thursday, Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to try Thursday at 8:00 p.m.
What time zone is he in?
He's in the East. He's in New York. But hopefully I think 8 o'clock Central, which is 9 o'clock Eastern for him. Like I said, I've never done a Facebook Live video, even with just me. I've never gone live on Facebook. So it'll be fingers crossed that it works the way that I hope it should work. Hopefully, we can glean a lot of information on how he trades or what he looks at. Because he is a super huge proponent of the 5-minute rule and Alan's option secret book. Maybe I should stop sharing this. Yeah. So he's read this book front to back multiple times. It is a true believer, and I'm hoping that we can.
Smart man.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm hoping that we can, because he seems to be doing very well in his posts. He seems, from when I've been talking to him, he seems like the 5-minute rule and Alan's option secret book kind of put a light bulb on top of his head, or he kind of basically turned a corner in his trading.
Well, we'll bring up Google today, Brian.
So,
I mean, the thing is that, there's certain stocks I like to trade. Google was one of them. 3Ms.
yeah, and I shared what I was watching today. So let's set this up. We'll just do this. And I believe Google's on the list. So yeah, there's Google.
Beautiful.
Triggered at 9:15 Central.
Yeah.
So after that first half hour, whenever I get into a trade within the first 30 minutes, I'm very nervous about it reversing on me.
You always got a reversal though. 12 to 1.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So I will not hold the stock after 11:59. And then I'll get back into it after 1. Now,
Okay.
this is clear evidence of it right there.
Mm-hmm. So, which is 10:59. So from here to, you said 1300, 1 o'clock. So right here, basically. So yeah.
You get out at 12. You never want to be in a stock. Stocks always drop 12 to 1. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
People go to lunch, whatever. It's just that's what happens.
Right. And if you notice, we broke above this 5 high, and then we came back and I don't want to split hairs.
Even that first high there, I mean, that's a beautiful one. You could have got out right there.
Yeah.
And
right. Exactly. Yeah.
Second. And then the thing is that the safest place I told you to buy a stock is when it approaches the 5-minute high or low. And look what happened. It bounced off that and you're off to the races.
Right.
It's like Churchill Downs all over again.
Yeah. I mean, look at that move all the way from 104 to 108.
Yeah. Look at that beautiful move.
4% move. So yeah. And like I said, I shared my list with the group this morning. Actually, I think even before the open. And I believe Google was on it.
Now, one stock, I don't know if you remember, I posted to the group that what was on my list. And on my list that you should have been in on was PSA and LSI. And I said to be short PSA.
Yeah.
You see what happened in open? Boom. Boom.
Well, and I started off shorting Tesla because I saw this. I saw that we're extended from the 10 and 20. And we did with Tesla trigger short first. So That's what I was looking. So PSA and what was the other one?
LSI.
LSI. Hmm.
The point of the matter is they're going to run together because PSA is buying LSI, and
Oh,
it's an all stock deal. So an all stock deal means that if PSA goes down, then LSI goes down. If LSI goes up, PSA goes up.
interesting.
It's very interesting that you rarely see an all stock purchase.
Yeah.
And that's what made Spirit go up today. I don't know if you noticed that.
Spirit SPRT.
SAVE.
SAVE.
They had their earnings today.
Oh, yeah. My competitor is Fiserv, and Fiserv had a beautiful day as well. I work for a company called FIS. And they're similar in the sense, and I probably should have, when I noticed Fiserv was up in the pre-market, should have traded FIS, but I didn't.
So Tesla, their 3 month at the 20D SMA is at 153. So it's really due for a bounce. I mean, I could have you were talking about buying Tesla at $100.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
or you were talking about going short, and I mean, look, it's almost $200 now.
I think that it hit that floor at right at
Yeah.
100. But it is extended. I mean, the 20 sitting at 155 and it's pushing 200. But I think Tesla is kind of an interesting thing. I think people, it's not really a meme stock, but there are Tesla fanboys out there that will push this stock up. And I have a feeling that as soon as 200 breaks, we may be off to the races. So one other thing that I wanted to show you and Alan, get your opinion on. I ran across this tweet today. Because as Powell was announcing, I was watching Twitter. So right here, the U.S. government is set to pay over $850 billion in interest on its debt this year. This is larger than the DoD budget of $813 billion. This is not sustainable. So, thoughts on that? I mean, we're paying more in interest.
It's sustainable for 20 years. I mean, like I just keep raising the debt ceiling.
Yeah, right.
I mean, so the thing is if you're 5 trillion in debt, or if you're 25 trillion in debt, what difference does it make? You're still in debt.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. Which I got.
It shouldn't be sustainable, but the thing is that if you Google it, most countries are very high in debt. Your European countries are very high in debt. Your South American countries are very high in debt. So I think they do that to make a big issue of it. You know, that we have a lot of waste. But you know, when I talk to the Fed, this could go on forever. I mean, the thing is that what's going on right now is that the U.S. government's buying our debt right now. And all they're doing is just flipping it. You know, they're going out longer and then coming in with short terms, and so I mean, technically it's sustainable forever. Now, where everybody was nervous before is China was the number one holder of our debt at one time, and so was Russia.
Right.
And that there was worry that they were going to go ahead and call in the debt, cause default.
Right.
I don't see it. I mean, if you Google countries in debt, it's more than in its countries you wouldn't even think of, you know. But nobody has the kind of debt we have, though. So that's a whole other issue.
You'd think that we'd have to do something sooner or later.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I would think so, but it is it is an interesting situation. So, um, but so just so you know, nobody has the debt we have, but also the GDP in the United States is higher than other countries. You get United Kingdom, $8.73 trillion in debt. France is $7 trillion in debt. Germany, 6.46 trillion. Japan, 4.36 trillion. China, 2.6 trillion. Italy, 2.5 trillion. Spain, 2.26 trillion. So, in terms of percent of GDP, is what a lot of people base it on. Well, United Kingdom percent of GDP per in comparison to their debt, England is 273% of their GDP is debt.
Wow.
Um, so we hear a lot of that. France is 253%. You've got Italy is 141%, Spain 170%. Even Canada is 143% debt. So and they're 1.93 trillion, almost 2 trillion in debt. So you know what this is all about. I mean, yeah, I was listening to Fox all day today. Just because I like to hear Laura on the radio, and I happen to listen to all this stuff. It's like this whole balloon thing. They're making this out to be that Biden's like this worst person in the world, and that he's incompetent and stuff. And the issue is that people make the GDP to be a political hot potato, because the Democrats overspend, the Republicans underspend. It's all politics,
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, how if we're in close to default, why do we send billions and trillions of dollars to all these countries around the world? Why do we send billions of dollars to Ukraine? How can we give the money if we don't have it? But if you Google it, we give billions of dollars to all the countries in the world. So I don't see that this couldn't go on forever.
Right.
Yeah.
I think my thing and I don't like to get into political discussions. I don't like, because really it doesn't matter. I mean, each side has, and what I think is happening is the extremes on both sides are getting more and more, for lack of a better word, publicity. They're getting their words or their beliefs are getting out there like they never have in the past. So you kind of hear these two extremes, and that's not a way to go. But I do think that our government is dysfunctional. It's not a Democrat thing, it's not a Republican. I think it's been dysfunctional for a little bit of time. It's not, and it's interesting because I'm watching, I don't know, at late at night I find something dumb to watch, but I'm watching something on the Apollo mission, and they highlighted Kennedy's speech on, we're doing this because we can, and we're doing it not because it's easy, but it's hard. And it's funny listening to all the NASA engineers like freak out and say, this is impossible. There's no way we could ever do this. And sure enough, we do. But like I said, I don't like to talk politics because, like I said, I think it's dysfunctional on both sides. I saw a tweet with MTG carrying a white balloon into, I think it's the State of the Union address tonight, isn't it?
Yeah,
carrying a white balloon into down the halls, and I'm like,
that's funny.
Yeah, I'm like, it's more theater than it is anything else. It's like, I don't know, do your job. Both sides just.
This is interesting. So you got California, which was, they got all that COVID money. Now they're $563 billion in debt. and their debt's almost as much as their revenue, and they're spending $750 billion. And then you got a state like Michigan, which was run by Republicans. Now it's Democratic. That has $9 billion in excess that they want to give back to the people. I don't know.
You got to think that that's almost criminal on the state of California. Like, what? How can you mismanage all of that money, or how it's somebody's getting something somewhere? So figure it out. Like I said, it's dysfunctional to say the least. And you know,
But
it's
it all goes into play what's going on, and I think what's going to happen is that they're going to push the buttons and not spend money we don't have, which I think is a smart fiscal thing. And I think everybody should do that. So,
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I tend to agree. The last thing I'm going to leave with is it's funny because everybody complaining about sending money to Ukraine, and then you hear stories of how if we do this, the government or the defense, we're not going to be able to support Taiwan when China invades. I'm like, it's the same thing. I'm like, it's the same exact thing. It's one democratic country and another yeah, I like I said, dysfunction at its finest. And I just, yeah, I'm sorry, one of my New Year's resolutions was to not get as involved. So one of the first things I did after January 1st was delete my account at Fox News because all the comment boards, I'm like, I got to get out of all of this because it's not, in the end, it's not worth it. It's not, yeah, be yourself. So anyway, hopefully you guys are great. Hopefully Alan and my wife get on the mend. So hopefully you guys take something out of this video. I love hearing comments. Got a comment today as far as the app. Keep using it. It helps identify breakouts. Hopefully you guys get enough out of this channel that it's worth it to subscribe. And like I said, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you want to, because I'm open and love the conversation. So have a good night. Have a good rest of the week. We'll leave you with Hershey because next week's Valentines.
oh, so I am the Hershey calls, just so anybody knows. That's my only real long-term plays, Hershey calls going into next week. Yeah,
that's a seasonal thing in this book. So Hershey's for Valentine's. So okay, doke. Have a good week. We'll talk to you guys next week.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Okay.